Hello world, hello YouTube, hello everybody. This is Prepper Princess, and this is going to be a video about the top 5 TV shows and movies that you have not thought of about using as a reference for the economic collapse. This is not about those really popular movies, you know, The Road, The Book of Eli, The Postman, Waterworld. You know, those are all really well-known movies that a lot of people already know about. But these are some of the ones that I wanted to go over that not a lot of people know about. Usually they had really short seasons, or, you know, they're older movies and they're not really intended for the purpose of an economic collapse, but they're really good references to use. But before I go into that, I wanted to talk to you guys really quickly about reality TV. You guys have all seen the Doomsday Preppers, and as most of you know, Doomsday Preppers takes prepping to quite an extreme, and a lot of people think that that show puts a bad light on preppers, and I have a tendency to agree with that that idea. I think that it makes us look really radical and you know, really oh gosh, just crazy, and that's really not the way that the majority of us work. And I do have a couple of friends who did a reality TV show on CMT named Rick Gibson and Bill Bruce. They did a show, gosh, you guys might even know better than I would. I saw the episodes and I thought that they were hilarious. But it's, they were the ones who told me how reality TV really works. And one of the things that I wanted to let you guys know about is that typically on Doomsday Preppers, what they would do is, so as an example, there was this one lady who had, you know, her prepping thing was food. She was all about food. She was a foodie. They had, you know, a cajillion years worth of food. She even made a joke. She was a little bit overweight, but she made the joke, you know, I'm going to be the only one there who still needs to lose 150 pounds, you know, after the collapse while everybody else is skin and bones. Well, one of the things that they do when making reality TV shows is that the producers will pay for scenarios to take place. So, for instance, on that one, I believe that she had a pallet of food delivered, an entire pallet, you know, 6 feet tall, 6 feet wide, 6 feet by 6 feet by 6 feet, and she had it delivered at night. Now, one of those pallets costs, I believe, like $5,000. And I am 100% sure that the producers of the show paid for that pallet to be delivered. If I were ever offered an opportunity to be on a show like that, regardless of whether it would make me look crazy or not, I would absolutely say yes. And the reason for that being is that I would get a ton of free stuff. And they say that they don't really pay for reality TV, but that's not necessarily the truth. They will pay you for your time. Those two friends of mine, Rick Gibson and Bill Bruce, who live in the desert, and I visit the desert all the time, love the desert, it's my favorite place. They got paid somewhere between $10,000 and $15,000 to do it. Bill Bruce didn't get paid as much because he wasn't the main character of the reality show, but he did get several $1,000s for being in the show, and they even put in a couple of ideas for me to do a show too, but it would portray me as the dumb blonde, the dumb city blonde, going into the desert to do something stupid, and that's fine. I'll do it. If they're going to pay me a few $1,000 and you guys see me on TV in a couple of years acting like a dumb blonde, I'm doing it on purpose. So here are the top 5. Oh, my list. I'll be right back. Got it right here. Okay. So my top 5. So number 5 is going to be the TV show Jericho. It only lasted for 2 years, and it had a really good following. The network didn't pick it up on the second season, so what they did was they pretty much just stopped it right in the middle of the season, season 1.5, but they got a huge petition from hundreds of thousands of fans requesting a second season. The downfall to that is that the end of the second season was extremely rushed, and everything was sort of jarbled together, so it was really hard to understand. But the first season to season and a half is extremely good. It really portrays a city in Jericho, Kansas, of a population of 5,000, and pretty much how they deal with, you know, working with food shortages, farms, security. It even has an outside town trying to come in to go to war with them because a whole bunch of misunderstandings with the two towns is essentially what happened, but it's something you guys should really look into. Number 4, and I only have some of them on DVD because not all of them are available, or I've got them on my, my Roku box or on my Amazon account. So number 4 is going to be this movie Soldier with Kurt Russell. It's not intended to be an apocalypse movie, but the good thing about this movie is that what he does is he goes to a planet which is essentially a garbage dump. And all of the people who have been essentially, marooned on the planet, or, lost in space, or their crafts crashed or something like that, have had to make do with the garbage and build from there. So they're essentially taking garbage and building cities out of them. So you can see there's a scene with electricity and wind generators that they made out of old dilapidated windmills. Everybody's wearing clothes that are obviously from the garbage. They make their homes out of old airplanes and scrap metal and things like that. So it's really a good fun movie. And it's got a little bit of an American feel to it. Number 3 is going to be The Martian, the one with Matt Damon. Now, again, it's not intended to be an apocalypse movie, but the thing that I really like about this movie is, he starts out really big and strong and everything like that, and he has to ration his food in order to survive. Towards the end, he's putting on his spacesuit, and he's just got these little tiny, scraggly, girly arms, and he's this little tiny thing of a man. But it really does make you think about do what you can with what you've got, which is one of my mottos. He took he took some solar, he made some solar, he figured out a way how to communicate with Earth, and he, found a way to reclaim and use water, how to grow things indoors, just with things that he already had, and also the extreme rationing and the mental strength that it had to take for him to get through that is really something you guys should watch. Number 2. Now, this is a little bit silly, a little bit campy. Most people think it's for kids, and technically it is a kid's movie, but the movie is Kittredge, An American Girl. This was a movie made off of the books, I believe, and it is a really great, it's the most accurate portrayal I've seen of things happening from the Great Depression in a normal suburban setting. It's not like The Grapes of Wrath where they start out in the Midwest and then they're making their way to California or anything like that. These are people who are doing, the dad lost the job and he goes off to Chicago. It's just the little girl and her mom trying to make it. This is Gracie, their dog. And, again, it's not intended to be some sort of survivalistic movie, but it shows a really, really great portrayal of what things were really like for normal families during the Great Depression, people who were trying to get by. And the number 1 TV show or movie that most people do not think about is a TV show called The Colony. There's a TV show on right now called The Colony, and that's not the one I'm talking about. The one I'm talking about was done either by National Geographic or Discovery Channel, and it was aired in 2006 and 2007. Unfortunately, during the 3rd season, it could just be a rumor, but during the 3rd season of The Colony, one of the cast members did die during the experiment with a confrontation with the Marauders. And his family sued the company, and they stopped filming, and they have not brought back another season since, which is very unfortunate because it is the best portrayal of an apocalyptic situation that I have ever seen. Right now, I'm watching all of them on YouTube. I couldn't find them on Netflix. You can buy them per episode on Amazon. I don't know what the cost is, but it can get a little bit expensive, but they are available on YouTube. Just type in The Colony, or The Colony National Geographic or Discovery Channel, I'm not sure which it is, and all of the episodes come up. Season 1 was especially good. I thought that Season 2, they always take really diverse people from different backgrounds and then put a group of 10 people together, and they have to survive. And it is like it's intended to be a post-disaster, or I believe it's some sort of medical thing where a pandemic and everybody's wiped out. No electricity. They have to figure out ways to make their own electricity. They have to work with cleanliness, everything like that. And mostly they're put in places where there are resources available, but it would be a normal situation. The first season takes place in South Los Angeles. They live in a warehouse, and they're in the process of making a bug-out vehicle. They have to deal with marauders. They made their own electricity out of, like, I believe it was a lawn or a pressure washer and a car alternator, and then old batteries that they daisy rigged together, and then they found an inverter. It's a whole bunch of stuff. And then I found that on the first season it was very manly, like very male dominated. I felt like all of the skills went to the males. There was a woman in there who was a self-defense instructor and like a nutritionist or a something, and she did good, but you know, for the most part it turned out like men were building things and women were cleaning and cooking, and I just didn't care for it. So they corrected that in the second season, and they made the main mechanic a woman, which I really liked, and it was a lot better in the second one. But in the second one it really messes with your psyche, and one of them, in my opinion, went a little bit crazy. But it's really something that you guys should look into. The Colony, okay? That is the best possible apocalyptic real life situation of what would really happen during some sort of catastrophic event or collapse. So just thought I'd share that, guys. Share that with you guys. That's it for now. Do what you can with what you've got. Prepper Princess out.